Customer management in Channergy is available in two places. There's a separate customer screen, but it's also part of the order entry system, which is where we're going to visit because it's the most commonly used place. If you saw our order entry system, then you saw how we take an order. Finding a customer is very similar. It has the same search screen. So if a customer calls or writes, you can search for a customer on as few or as many of these fields as you like. Just like orders, you could double click if you find a match, or you can add the customer if the customer doesn't already exist. We're going to go to John Smith. So as we saw also in the order entry system, this is his contact information. His billing address, his shipping, you can have as many shipping as you like, which we covered in order entry, phone, email, etc. We also store quite a bit more information. Under the additional information tab, there's a price level. There's 4 price levels per product in Channergy. So you can set a customer's account to a different price level. If we make John a wholesale customer, for example, whenever you take an order, he'll automatically get wholesale pricing. Now, imported orders are going to come in exactly the way they were on the web, which is typically what you want, but we can post-process. So if someone came in under the retail portal and paid retail prices, we could still post-process and apply the wholesale pricing on the back end. You can also give a customer a global discount they get off of everything. We also have discounts on product numbers or ranges of product numbers. So a different price level, a different discount, different quantity discount. You can start and stop that on given dates. Special pricing is good for wholesale customers, or if you want to give special prices to individuals. The lower of whichever you choose, or lowest if there's multiple, will be what's used on the order system. So if someone's getting wholesale pricing and a 10% discount, but the special pricing is cheaper, that's what will apply. We have a store credit field. If you do returns, you can either return the money to a credit card or cut the customer a check, but you can also put it in store credit, and then the customer can use that to apply to a future order just like they would any other payment method. You can also have point systems, and we can convert that to dollars. So if you give a point per $100 or 100 points per dollar, whatever it is, we can convert it to a dollar amount. And then the email notification system in Channergy can tell customers that you have $63 to spend. Why don't you come buy replacement lenses for your glasses or another part that's consumable for another product, etc. These types you create up here. You can make as many as you like, and then we use it for list segmentation. So we created personal and corporate as an example. If you want to make John a corporate customer, you could. We have email notification system built into Channergy. There's a plain text one that comes with Channergy. There's an optional HTML text one. They both do similar things, and they both pull on the Channergy database. So you could use fields like this. For example, the email notification system is great for things like invoices, tracking numbers on orders, drop ship and regular purchase orders to vendors. What it's not really meant for, though, is newsletters, sales flyers, etc. So using third-party programs like Constant Contact, Vertical Response, MailChimp, etc., you can export out your list and send everybody the same newsletter if you like. Or you can use fields like this to segment. So if you wanted to send a different email to your corporate versus your personal customers, you could. You can also segment on any field in Channergy. So you can send emails based on how much money they've spent with you, when they last bought from you, what products they've bought, to remind them to replace consumables, etc. The HTML email tool that I mentioned a moment ago works just like the text one, but because it allows you to do the pretty images, etc., it can also be used for those kinds of solicitations. But you also might want to consider the third-party systems because they do click tracking and that sort of thing. Short of it is you have several options, and you can dig deep into your database to do very targeted emails that your customers care about instead of just blanket emails to everybody. This would be the default pay method for this customer. So if you had credit card set up as your default for order entry, but you wanted to invoice John, you could specify that. And then at order entry, when you take a payment, it would default to that. You could still choose another method, but the default would be there. You can also set up your own terms and select them so that that would be also included on the order. Assign a sales rep for commissions. We saw these in the order entry video as well. At that point, we were manually selecting them, but if you pre-select them here, they'll show up automatically on the order. And again, they can be changed. This note shows up here and on the order screen. It's just a quick reminder. We have unlimited linked notes as well, which I'll show you in a moment. This pop-up note's more aggressive. Whatever you type here is going to pop up whenever you try to open the customer's account, take an order, etc. So it's good for things like bad credit, preferred customer, etc. Your operators can't miss it. You have to click OK to get past the message. If you have customers that need a PIN number to order from you, we have that along with a reminder for them. You can keep track of an important date like their birthday or other date and send them a card or an email. We do some minor demographics, including making customers tax exempt and tracking the ID for that. So any orders that you key with taxable items, they would not be charged tax on if they're marked as exempt. There's also tax exempt level checking at the product level. They're independent, but worth mentioning here. You can flag an account. So if you want to say don't send email, for example, we'll respect that internally. We'll also respect that on the export I mentioned up here. So if you are working with a third party, you won't accidentally spam someone with your newsletter. When you add a customer to Channergy, we'll automatically assign a unique ID that can be started at whatever number you like, so no one has to be customer number 1. We can also build a customer out of elements of the customer's name and address. This is set in preferences. It's also a field we could populate on an import if we're bringing data from another system for you. And then either one or both of these can be on invoices, packing lists, emails, etc. Again, you can control that. If a customer were to call, you could search on either one of those as well. So if they're used to using their old customer numbers, you don't have to lose that. Channergy will keep track of whether you've contacted a customer, they've contacted you, or they've spent money with you. And at order entry, we saw assigning a key, which can do things like apply discounts, tell you where an order came from, etc. The very first key is the original key assigned to the customer. And that can tell you over time if that key made money. Perhaps at first it did not because there was a slim margin on whatever that deal was, but over time it did make money, and therefore it was worthwhile because it found you a buying customer. Briefly, if you have auto parts, etc., you can assign automobiles that belong to the customer here, and then when you at order entry, we can filter, so we're just showing parts that match their car, but you can override that. We saw special pricing already. Every customer's order history is complete regardless of where the orders came from. So if John bought some things on Amazon, some things on your web store, called, walked in, etc., all his orders are going to be in one place. You can expand those orders, see exactly what items he ordered. You can click on an order, go to it, make changes, answer questions, reprint the invoice, send him an email, etc., and then jump back where you were. This is a great customer service tool. The contact log is where you can keep those unlimited length messages I mentioned. So if a customer calls to ask about his order, for example, you could type that, or you could have it pre-built. You control this and then select it from the pull down, which is nice because then it's consistent and good for reporting. And then type as much as you want. This is an unlimited length field. It'll keep track of the operator that entered it and the date. You can also schedule things. Maybe you want to call a customer back or send him an email or something. You can, again, type as much as you like. You can assign it to a different operator than yourself along with the tickle date. We have a report that pops up on the screen or prints out. You can also email individually to everyone, breaks by operator ID, so it tells them what their tasks are for that day. And then as they go in, they can mark them closed, create new tasks if they want to. So you effectively have a CRM here. There's also a full CRM based on the Salesforce model built into the system. So if you do relationship sales, you may want to check out that page on our website. You can specify if you want to send a catalog or a birthday card or an email. In the case of a catalog, you may want to have a source key assigned to it. You can export this out to a flat file, send it to your vendor, have them send it, or you can simply print labels right from Channergy. And then finally, any emails that you send with the plain text email notification system can optionally copy to the contact log so you can see exactly what the customer saw, the date that it went out, etc. It's in the database, but it's nice to have it here for reference. The HTML email tool does the same thing, but it copies it in the next tab we're going to visit, which is attachments. So let's go there. Attachments can be anything you like. So if a customer sends an email you want to save, or fax that they fax to you, or a logo. Also, any HTML emails, as mentioned earlier, that you send can automatically copy here, just like we did the email notifications here. So those would open up and you can see exactly what they look like. Everything would show up in their native program, except for images. They'll show up down here in the little square, a little cut off or in a small resolution, make sure everybody can see it. But you have access to all that data permanently on the customer's account, so it's attached to them. You can always find it. That's the customer management system in Channergy. We also recommend that you check out our order entry system because they're related.